I grew up in a house with two large mirrors. One hung in the living room, the other hung in the dining room. They faced each other, never a good sign. If you stood in the right place, the reflections lined up perfectly, stretching on and on like you were staring into eternity. This detail matters later. For as long as I can remember, that house was active. Strangely, I never felt terrifying to us. We were raised with a very open, casual view of the paranormal, so most of what happened felt normal. I remember seeing shimmering silhouettes walking through the house, standing in corners, passing through rooms. In my bedroom, I would hear muffled voices like my parents were hosting a party downstairs when no one was home in reality. At night, when the house was dark and everyone was asleep, I'd hear male voices coming from below, along with the sounds of video games being played. Sometimes I heard children laughing and giggling in my room. I had horrible nightmares and night terrors growing up in that house. We often heard footsteps on the stairs. They always started halfway up, never from the bottom. The footsteps would walk into my sister's room, then back out, stop in front of my door, and continue into my parents' bedroom. My sister's bedroom door was broken and replaced with a curtain. Sometimes, when the footsteps reached her room, the curtain would move, like something had pushed through it. That's when we would see him. A man wearing army fatigues with striking bright blue eyes. He followed the exact path of the footsteps, sometimes standing silently outside of our rooms. Other times, he appeared halfway down the stairs, staring into the living room. For a while, my cousin lived with us. People often mistook the apparition for him. Guests would ask if my cousin was home, only to be visibly shaken when told he wasn't. Many men saw the figure while they were using the restroom, where the stairs were visible. Some of them were also disturbed as they left immediately and never returned. Eventually, we noticed a pattern. Only unsavory men reacted that way. Once my sister and her best friend saw an imprint form on the love seat, as if something heavy had sat down. Moments later, a man appeared, walked behind the TV, and vanished. We heard dishes shaking, strange, unexplainable noises. One day, my mom and I came home to find the refrigerator door wide open. All the food had been removed and placed neatly on the floor in the same order it had been inside the fridge. The butter was laid out with the two butter knives arranged in a ruin-like symbol. Things went missing constantly, only to reappear exactly where we remembered leaving them. Sometimes they would return until we demanded them, out loud, that the spirit give them back. We called whatever was doing this the gremlins. There were countless other experiences, but those were the most memorable. Eventually, two things became clear. First, the mirrors. We believed the two mirrors facing each other created a portal. Absolutely, they did. When my mom removed one of them, almost all of the activity stopped. Second, me. I had realized I had abilities. Now I use those abilities to help a friend who's a paranormal investigator, and I also do readings. Almost